I'm so glad that you're here today. Today we're going to do a very gentle movement chair yoga class. I'm in a wheelchair, but this is not a wheelchair yoga class. We're going to be working a lot of just mobility and a little bit of strengthening and just kind of moving our joints and our body around. Let's get started with just kind of coming into our body, being present for a moment. This is our time right now. It's sacred. It's your time. It's your time to focus on self-care and focus on your body and what your body needs. So we're just going to kind of get quiet for a moment. So I want you to think about sitting up nice and tall. I'm not like forcing myself up tall, but my pelvis is upright. My spine is nice and neutral. And I just want to be kind of active, but not, crazy active, but, a little bit active in my stature here, my stance. If it feels comfortable to you, you can close your eyes. You can also just kind of look down at a 45-degree angle. This relaxes your eyelids. So we're just going to kind of come into our bodies for just a moment. I want you to start being aware of how your body feels, how your bottom feels on the seat, how your breath feels. You don't need to change your breath for now, but just kind of notice your breath. What is it doing? Have you had, a rough day? Are you kind of stressed? If you notice some tension up in your shoulders, just kind of think about, relaxing the shoulders. So we don't want to slump them forward, but kind of thinking about pulling them back away from the earlobes just a little bit, and then squeezing the shoulder blades together only slightly. Again, so I'm not actively opening my chest right now. I'm just kind of lightly kind of relaxing the shoulders and then pulling them back just to open up the heart a little bit. So just take a moment here and let's start to deepen our breath. So breathe in through your nose to the count of 4. You're going to hold it for 2 seconds and then exhale to the count of 4. So I'll count with us. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 2 and then exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's do that again. Inhale to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2. 1, 2. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, do a couple more on your own. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold for 2. Exhale to the count of 4. Okay, now we're going to put a little bit more intention into the breath. So we're going to inhale through our nose to the count of 4, hold for the count of 2, but now exhaling through our mouth to the count of 6. So just a little bit longer of an exhale. And when you exhale, think about kind of pushing that air out. So when we're inhaling, we're thinking about really bringing that air in, expanding the belly, expanding those lungs. So you want to get a nice whole expansion through the chest. And then when you exhale, think about filling it so the tummy is squeezing all the air out. Obviously the air is not in the tummy, but just kind of a good visual. Squeezing the air and carbon dioxide out and pushing it out of the body. So I'll count with you for the first couple. So we're going to inhale to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. And then exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So feel that tummy really kind of like, like you're almost clenching for a punch, or just kind of pushing that air out. All right, let's do that again. So inhale to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 2. And exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. All right, so you're going to do a couple rounds on your own. Remember, inhaling to the count of 4, hold it for 2, exhale to the count of 6. One more full round. Okay, beautiful job. Now that we're kind of in the moment, we're just going to start working a little bit of mobility. We're just going to start with some light movement in the shoulder. So we want to be very active and controlled with our movement when we move the shoulder. So I'm just going to have you take your arm out in front of you, lift it up, and then bring it to the side. And then from here, we want to keep our elbow not completely locked out because we want to protect all of our joints. We're just going to slightly move it back. Now notice I'm not twisting because I want to stretch the shoulder, but that's it. So just slightly hold it there for a moment. Bring it back up, and then bring it back down. Let's do the same thing with the other side. So hand comes up, or comes out, lifts straight up, comes to the side, palms facing forward. Don't lock that elbow joint out, and then just slightly pull back to where it feels good to you. Good. All right, so another shoulder stretch that I really like to do, bringing my arm down behind me, or excuse me, to the side of me. My palm is facing away from me, and I'm just gonna kind of pull it back. So I'm not pulling it back into the side, I'm literally pulling it straight back. So we're just gonna stretch this top part of the shoulder here. If you're on a sofa, it's really nice to rest the hand on the sofa, and then you'll feel this amazing stretch through the forearm. But it's really hard in a chair, unless you have a great big old chair. Okay, good. Let's switch sides. So hand goes down, palm faces away, and then just bring it straight back, not angling it. I do lift the palm here so I can get a little bit of a stretch. So I am doing this, but do what feels good to you. You do get a bit of a stretch in the wrist. You won't really feel it so much in the forearm as much without the tension of, you know, like a sofa underneath it, but it still feels really good in the wrist. All right, so we're gonna do a really gentle neck exercise. So we're gonna bring our hand over to the top of our head, and I'm just lightly placing my hand kind of on my ear, you know, wrapping it around, just getting it to the ear, wherever you can get it. And I'm gonna just let my head lightly come to the side. I am not pressing in any way. I'm just letting the weight of my hand rest on my head. So you can either keep your other hand in your lap or on the side, or if you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can drop it down to the side. Do what feels good to you. If that feels too intense, bring the hand back up. But again, please do not pull. Please do not pull on your little neck. Not that it's not strong, but why test it? All right, good. Let's go to the other side. Be very, very gentle and intentional with your movements. Bring your hand back over. Rest it on the head. Again, it might be different on this side for you, so see what feels best for you. If it feels good, drop your hand down. If it doesn't, bring your hand up. Okay. The joys of teaching yoga from home. Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna work a little bit more neck mobility. So I'm gonna have you guys look over to the side, but when you do, don't do it yet. I'm just gonna take my 2 fingers, press it just a little bit right here into the side of the jaw. So I'm going to look over and I'm just going to press just a little bit with my fingers. Not my whole hand, because that does not control the pressure. So you notice my arm is rested on my body, so the pressure is very controlled here. It's just giving a slightly a little extra stretch. Let's go to the other side. So look to the other side, take your fingers, press them into that jaw area and just lightly press. Hand is rested on the chest, just controls that depth of push. Or depth of pressure, I guess. Depth of push. That's new. Good. All right. So let's kind of roll those shoulders back. And then forward. Ooh, that feels good. All right. So let's do a twist. All right. So this is where posture is really important. We are not going to move our hips in this particular stretch. So we are just isolating basically from about the thoracic, your mid-spine, up. That's it. So just that part of the spine. As soon as you like kind of push one butt cheek back, you are now kind of adding the lumbar in there, which is fine too, but we don't necessarily need to stretch or rotate our lumbar all the time. We do that a lot just kind of naturally. So this is going to isolate, the middle to the upper back. All right, so sit up nice and tall. Pelvis is neutral, so pelvis isn't tucked under, and it's not sitting forward where your back is arched. It's just nice and tall. Think of your pelvis as a bowl with water, so we don't want to spill it backwards or forwards, okay? So sitting up nice and tall, shoulders, again, relaxed away from the ears, pulled slightly back. And then on your inhale, you're going to kind of lift up. And then on your exhale, you're just going to start to twist. So I have arms here that I can use for leverage, but you can use the side of your leg, whatever you want to use. If you've got, well, I guess is the only things that would work in a chair. So side of the leg or the arm of the chair. You're going to tuck that chin slightly. We don't want to be looking up or down, but just tuck the chin to keep your spine neutral. So tall, sit up tall, and then on your exhale again, you're going to tilt back just a little bit, twist back just a little bit. Head is the very last thing to turn. Okay, good. Unwind, we'll do it on the other side. So sit up nice and tall. On your inhale, tuck that chin. On your exhale, start to twist. Use your hand for leverage or the side of the chair. Again, on your inhale, sit up nice and tall and lengthen. On the exhale, start to twist a little bit more. Head is the very last thing to turn. Beautiful. All right, so let's do your right arm. Hopefully you're not mirroring me. Right arm up. Drop the other hand down. If it's on the side of the couch, it doesn't matter, but drop it down. And we're going to keep our shoulders facing forward, meaning I'm not going to collapse in, but keep it nice and forward like we're painting a rainbow directly over our head. We're just going to kind of lean to the side. I'm not leaning, but my whole body is still sitting up nice and tall. Again, I'm stretching through that mid part of my spine. If you want, you can look up at your hand. Pay attention to what your shoulder's doing. If you notice it's kind of collapsing in, thinking about opening it up just a little bit further. You see that big difference in there. You'll feel that more in your chest. It's a beautiful stretch through that side body. All right, good. Let's do the other side. So hand comes up. We're going to paint that rainbow directly over the top of our head. So stretching to the side, pay attention to that shoulder, open it up just a bit. Ooh, that feels good. Okay, come back. We're going to do this one more time, and then I'm going to add something to the end. So bring your arm up, paint the rainbow, do this nice stretch. Then we're going to bring that hand down to the opposite leg. Keeping your shoulders, everything else in the same stretch, and then you'll notice that stretch all the way up to the back and the shoulders and even the side. Ooh. We're going to get all angles of your midsection here. All right, come back. We're going to switch sides, so arm comes up. Stretching over. Make sure you're not leaning. Want to isolate that center back. As soon as we lean, we go straight into that lower back, the lumbar, and that gets a lot of movement already. All right, now bring that hand down to the leg, and then just feel that through your back. Good. All right, come back. Very nice. All right, so we're just going to do a little bit kind of onto the legs now. We're just going to move down a bit. All I want you to do right now is stick your foot out. Here, let me scoot back a bit. Stick your foot out. Flex the toes. So you were pointing your toes. Now we're pulling those toes back to our head or toward our face. Not locking out the knee joint, so that's really important. My leg is just literally out as far as it can go. I'm not trying to lift it, so I'll show you guys from the side. So as I point it out and I flex those toes, I'm not lifting the leg, okay? So I'm just sticking it out wherever it goes. Oh, kitty. So we're trying to get a nice stretch underneath. You should feel it kind of underneath the leg and the hamstrings. Oops. All right, good. So let's do the other side. Cats want to be wherever I am. So foot comes out, pull those toes back toward your face. This is called a flex. And just enjoy that stretch. You will notice if you sit up a little bit taller, woo, there we go. Really gets into that hamstring a little bit more and into that calf. I'll make sure you're not you're not slumping. Sit up nice and tall. You will feel that. All right, let's do the other side again. So bring that toe up. Sit up nice and tall. Now if you want a little bit more of a stretch, lean forward. Now I'm leaning at the hips. So again, I'll show you from the side. I'm not doing this. I'm sitting up nice and tall, and I'm hinging at those hips. Notice that difference. You will really, really start to feel this. All right, good. Let's switch sides so toes come out. Flex. Sit up nice and tall. If you need that extra stretch, hinge at the hips, not the waist. Be very aware. You'll notice the difference. See, I don't feel anything here really except in my leg. But as soon as I bring my shoulders up, boy, do I feel that in the hamstrings. Okay, good. Now grab your strap. Kind of depending on your mobility today, you may or may not want to use your strap. It's totally up to you. So I'm just going to take my strap. All right, so I'm putting it under the foot. And I'm just going to use the strap, pull the hands together, or pull the strap together. And I'm just going to use the strap to help guide the foot up to my knee. That way you're not trying to lean down to grab your foot. You can keep the strap there if you want, doesn't matter. All right, so this is basically pigeon in a chair. So my foot is resting really right on top of my knee, maybe a little bit past, so I guess it's more of my ankle. Now my knee is kind of, I'm kind of contained here in my wheelchair. So if you're in a wheelchair, that's okay. You'll still feel this stretch. At least you should. So you want to protect the knee. If you want to start pushing the knee down to get a little bit more stretch, don't push on the knee. You want to push back just a little bit behind the knee. So we're getting into the hip and we're not putting pressure on the joint. So I am holding my other foot to keep it on top of my leg. Sit up nice and tall. And if you want a little bit more here, hinge forward. Same way as we did before. Hinging at the hips, not at the waist. This is a pretty deep hip stretch, so just take your time, be gentle with your body. Okay, good. We're going to switch sides. So use that strap. If you don't want to use the strap, you're welcome to just bring the foot up to you and then grab hold of it. So whatever works best for you today. That can change day by day, right? Some days we're tighter than others. So again, foot is, well, I didn't say this before, I apologize. Foot is flexed. If we point it, we kind of lose some of that a little bit. So sitting up nice and tall, pelvis is neutral. If you want to get a deeper stretch, you could push down into the, right behind the knee into that hip. You can also sit up nice and tall and hinge forward. You should feel that in your hips. Good stuff, isn't it? We want to keep our hips nice and mobile. It's really, really important. Good. Okay. So we are going to use our strap this time. For sure. So we're going to, again, put it underneath our foot. All right, so I'm pulling the strap back and then kind of tightening up on it as much as feels good to you. We're basically doing a variation of hand to foot. So I'm just going to lift the leg up. I'm pulling my arms really close to my body. Let me show you from the side. So it's hard to tell. I shouldn't have worn all black. My elbows are locked in tight behind me or next to me. So as I pull up, I'm pulling those shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. Again, we're getting a nice stretch in the hamstring. Sit up nice and tall, tuck that chin. We want to keep a nice neutral spine. All right, switch sides. So other foot goes in, come up, sit up nice and tall, get those elbows in nice and close to your body. If you're bigger like I am, don't worry if your elbow is not directly below your shoulder. Does not matter. As long as we're squeezing the elbow in, I just don't want you to bring the elbows out. So nice and tight to the body, like we're doing chaturanga. Okay, good. Very nice. So we're going to do a little bit of strength training here. Grab your block. You can set your strap down, but don't set it down so it's out of reach, okay? So grab your block. We're just going to do some isometric training. So just because we're sitting down does not mean we cannot do a strength training. So a block is an amazing tool for this. So turn it to the side, put it between your palms. We're going to put it kind of, chest level. Elbows are out to the side, as you can see, and my hands are pressing into the block. And I'm just going to press into the block with with my whole hands, but I'm kind of focusing mainly on the heels of my hands, because that is an isometric exercise. It's pushing and using shoulders, biceps. It's using a lot of different muscles. So keep pressing. Good. Okay, release. I'm going to do that again in a minute. Okay, come back up. All right, and press in. We'll go to the count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, relax. One more time, pressing with all your might. If this hurts your wrists, you don't need to do this, okay? You could also try to maybe do it with your fists. I'm not sure. I can't really do that. I will definitely drop the block. All right, so try it again. We'll do the count of 5 again. You can count with me if you want. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Relax. Now we're going to do the same thing, but the block is going to go between our knees. So grab that block. Get it securely in there. And we're gonna squeeze everything in toward the midline, pressing into the block. My block is shiny. I keep the plastic on it because my cats love to chew my blocks up, so that's super fun. All right, so sit up nice and tall, squeeze in. We're gonna do the count of 5 again. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, hold the block if you want, just relax your knees for a moment. We're gonna do 2 more sets. We're almost done. All right, press again as hard as you can, push those knees in as hard as you can. I'm keeping my feet together because it's easier to push in toward midline. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Woo, I'm feeling this, my inner thighs. Okay, one more time. All right, hard as you can, last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And you can put that block away. All right. We're going to do one fun little strength training on our legs. If you are in a wheelchair and are not able to do this, that is okay. So I will show you kind of what you can still do to activate all the same muscles. If you can't really lift your weight right now, the same variation will apply to you. So it's not a modification, it's a variation. We're not modifying the pose. All we're doing is activating the correct muscles that we're aiming for, okay? So we're gonna do chair pose. So I'm gonna give you a couple ways to do this. So my feet are hips width apart. Traditional chair pose, I would stand up and I'm sitting with my knees are, really over my ankles. My butt's sitting back, literally like I'm sitting in a chair. I'm just not all the way down. So I'm only lifting up slightly, okay? So if you want to do that variation, do that variation. Come up. You could bring your hands into a heart center. You could bring your hands up. You could bring them to your waist. Do it where it feels comfortable. I like heart center. It helps me keep myself a little more balanced and a little more centered. All right, if that is not going to work for you, that's okay too. All we're going to do is take our feet, same thing, and we're just going to we're going to lean forward, pressing our heels into the ground. So you will notice your butt kind of lifts a little bit here. So push your heels into the ground and then clench. Clench your glutes, squeeze them together. Same time, pressing the heels into the ground, leaning forward. So we're doing the exact same thing. Nothing is different. We are getting the muscular work here. So clench, 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 push, push, push with those heels, push, 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 clench, clench, clench. Hands either the same place, heart center, up, or at your waist. And release. Oh, I feel all of those. So do what feels best for you. We're going to do it one more time. We're just going to hold for 3 breaths, just 3 breaths, okay? So get set up. All right, come into your pose. We're going to hold it for 3 breaths. I'll start now. 3, 2, 1, and sit down. Good job. Awesome job, you guys. We're just going to kind of start to bring it down a little bit. Move around in circles. So the pelvis is facing up still, and I'm just moving the upper part of my body in circles. You could switch directions. You can kind of move. I just want to kind of get some final movements out. If you want to stretch a leg again after that chair pose, you can do that. Do whatever feels good to you right now. Stretch those arms or shoulders. Just some final movements. You'll know, your muscles will tell you like, you'll feel like a tension in a part of your body, and you'll know I just need to open that up a bit. Move your head if you want. Whatever feels good to you. All right, So we're going to close our practice. Just a few moments of coming back down, breathing. So if it feels good and safe to you, close your eyes. Otherwise, again, just lower your gaze. Relax your eyelids. Feet are flat out in front of you. Tuck that chin. Start to slow that breath down and take some bigger breaths when you're able to, when it feels good. We want to try to breathe in through our nose and not our mouth. Sometimes when we get really tired, we're going to start, panting kind of through our mouth. But whatever we can, we want to breathe in through our nose. Our nose has a natural filter in it that protects the air coming in, where our mouth does not have that filter. Breathing in through the nose also tells the body that it's safe and it's secure, and there's no reason for panic or fight or flight or any anxiety. You're safe in that moment. Just start to calm that breath down. Let's take a big breath in together and then exhale audibly through our mouth. You don't have to scream. I mean, you can. I can't hear you. So breathe in through your nose, and then we're going to sigh it out. Squeezing that air out. All right, one more time. In through the nose. Let's audibly sigh it out. Feels so good, and it tells your nervous system that you are safe, you're fine. It also helps to kind of slow the heart rate down. Just tells the body that everything is okay. All right, we're going to come together. We're going to bring our hands into heart center. And we're just going to have a moment of quiet. That's it. So tuck your chin if you feel comfortable. Close your eyes. You're welcome to leave them open. Do what feels best and safe for you. We're just going to be here for a moment. Breathing in and out through our nose, just at whatever natural pace you're breathing. Think about your breath. Visualize the cool air as it comes in through your nose, how you feel that coolness. And then notice how you exhale through your nose. It's warm. Isn't that fascinating? So focus on that feeling. It gives your brain a place to go, so your mind isn't running amok of what you're going to do as soon as you turn this video off. Take this moment for yourself. Picture that breath. Really feel that breath in your nostrils. I love the visual of smelling and bringing in flowers and exhaling weeds. That's kind of what we're doing. We're breathing in oxygen, all these beautiful things. Well, minus pollution. But when we exhale, our body's cleansing that breath and pushing out carbon dioxide with it as well. Carbon dioxide comes in with it, but you're pushing a lot more out on your exhale. So you're literally giving your body life with the oxygen. Your body can only survive for moments without oxygen. Okay. So you can lower your chin just a little bit. If your eyes are closed, just slowly blink them open to limit the amount of information coming in. And then lift your head. And I just want to thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I really enjoyed having you here, and I hope that you could really feel some movement in your body and feel encouraged that even when you're sitting, you can still move your body and strength train your body and really work on that mobility. So be blessed and have a beautiful day.